Hey guys, good morning from windy Southern Nevada. Hey, you know, if you watch a lot of my videos, you know I like revolvers, especially Smith & Wesson revolvers. And I got to looking the other day and I have 8 of them. And I noticed that 4 of them were rather old models and the other 4 were rather kind of new. So I kind of divided them up between Gen 1 and Gen 2. And we're going to take a look at the difference between them today. But just real quick, on the Gen 1 model, now this is just something I came up with, but on the Gen 1 they have the firing pin on the hammer, just like this one right here. On the Gen 2, there is no firing pin here. The firing pin is internal. So this is a more modern revolver. I don't know when Smith & Wesson got away from the external firing pin. And I also have this one here. This one has an internal hammer and internal firing pin. So we're going to take a look at these 8 revolvers, Gen 1 and Gen 2, and kind of compare them. And I can tell you right now, the Gen 2, couple of the newer ones, I have a problem with 2 of them. The Gen 1, I tell you what, man, just very well made. The actions are nice and slick, fairly smooth. So there is a big difference between the Gen 1 and the Gen 2. So let's take a look at these 8 revolvers, and then we'll come back out here and put some rounds through 4 or 5 of them. All right, let's start with the Smith & Wesson Model 10. This is nickel plated, and this model actually came out in 1899, believe it or not. And I believe Smith & Wesson still makes this today. Now, normally I cannot tell you exactly when a Smith & Wesson revolver was made, but I can on this one because this is a model 10-7. So this model here, or this gun, actually was made in 1977. And this Model 10 is chambered in .38 Special. And it does have the external firing pin. And the action on this, super smooth, just a little heavy, but very smooth. This is a Model 15. Now this is basically a Model 10, but with adjustable sights on it. And this one here is also chambered in .38 Special. This is actually a Model 15-3, and it was made between 1968 and 1977. Has the target hammer on it. Has a nice target trigger on it. Very, very smooth shooting revolver. The Model 19, look at this beauty. Now this one is chambered in .357 Magnum, and it has a 2.5-inch barrel, adjustable sights, and just a beautiful revolver. I've picked this one up last year, did a review on it, and just really, really do like shooting this one. Now this is actually a Model 19-5, so this one was made between 1982 and 1988. And this is the last of my Gen 1 revolvers. This is a Model 29 44 Magnum. Look at that big monster, huh? Absolutely love shooting this one. And this one definitely has the target hammer on it, target trigger, and adjustable sights. And absolutely smooth action, just perfect. That single action is just probably 3 to 4 pounds. Now this is actually a Model 29-4, and this one was made between 1988 and 1989. This is a Smith & Wesson Model 60, and it is chambered in .357 Magnum. And this was a special edition that came out in 2007. You'll notice the cylinder is not fluted. And this is a J-frame revolver. This is actually a model 60-14. And the trigger pull on this, smooth and fairly light. Just really do like shooting this one. This one does have a safety right here. It comes with a little key. You can turn that and it will lock up the action. And you'll notice no firing pin on the hammer. Firing pin is inside the frame right there. This is the model 642, another J-frame revolver. Now this one is chambered in 38 Special plus P, little 5-shot lightweight revolver. This frame is actually aluminum. And from what I hear, this is one of Smith & Wesson's biggest selling revolvers. And you'll notice it has a internal hammer and firing pin. Action is just a little bit heavy, but it's extremely smooth. Really do like this one here. And this one was made in 2018. Here is another 44 Magnum. This is a model 69. Now this one is a 5-shot double action, single action, with a 2.5-inch barrel and adjustable sights, and it does have the internal firing pin. Now I bought this one just a couple of years ago. Now really love this revolver, but there's one thing I really hate about it, and that's the front sight. Look at that. You know, these revolvers will cost you about $1,000, and that's just not acceptable. Come on, Smith & Wesson, I know you can do better than that. So that's my big complaint on this one here, and you know, that really irritates me right there. My least favorite Smith & Wesson revolver. I just bought this one last month, just did a review on it. This is the M&P Bodyguard. This is chambered in 38 Special plus P. Has a polymer frame. This outer frame here is aluminum. This is also Smith & Wesson's cheapest revolver. These will cost between $400 and $450. And not real happy with this one, and let me show you why. Watch what happens when I open up the cylinder. I turn it, lock it into place, and watch, when I pull the trigger, the cylinder will not spin. Look at that. Now it will spin. For some reason, most of the time, it will not turn on that first pull of the trigger. Now, some of my viewers have said, well, it's made that way. Well, no, it's not. This is a revolver. It's supposed to revolve. Okay? So, very inconsistent, because sometimes it will spin, sometimes it won't. Most of the time, it will not turn on that first pull. Now, one of my viewers did say that if you turn that cylinder counterclockwise and lock it in place, it will spin every single time. And it does. So, you have to remember to do that if you're going to carry one of these. Load it, turn it counterclockwise, and then you're good to go. But you know what? That's just is not acceptable to me. But it is what it is. Like I said, I did a review on this. You can check it out if you want. But you know what? I think it's time to get back out to the range and put a few rounds through a couple of these. Hey, pretty nice collection, huh? Now we're going to start off with the Model 10 38 Special. I just really enjoy shooting this one. I'm going to fire 6 rounds double action, and I can tell you, in this bright sunshine, these nickel-plated sights are kind of hard to see. A lot of glare, but you know what? I'm going to shoot it anyway. 6 rounds double action. Yeah, nice and smooth. All right, you know what? Let's shoot this little snub-nose 357 Model 60. You know what? I can honestly say this is one of my favorite revolvers right here, and I do carry it on me sometimes. And I will be shooting a 158 grain gold dot hollow point, and yes, these do have a little bit of recoil. 5 rounds. Whew. Wow. Yeah, most of those were a little low, but what the heck, man, this thing is a blast to shoot. Well, you know what? We're gonna try that again. 2 rounds one-handed. Oh man, I just love the feel of this. All right, Smith & Wesson model 2944 Magnum. Have a still played out about 25 yards. I don't know if you can see it very well, but let's take a couple shots and see if I can hit it. Oh yeah, piece of cake. Let's have a little kick to it though. .44 Magnum. All right, you know what? Let's try some hominy with my Model 19 357. I ran out of staples. All right, guys, there you go. You know, I definitely prefer these older Smith & Wesson revolvers over the newer ones. Now, I'm not saying all the new ones are bad or defective, but I'm just saying if you're going to buy a new one, just check it over real good. Of course, you want to do the same thing if you buy a used one, but you know what? I'll take an older one any day. They're just so well made. And another thing I might mention too is price. On my older ones, I paid about half of what a new one would cost. So it's a win-win situation. I get a better revolver at a very low cost. So if I come across an old one that's got a good price on it, in good shape, I'm gonna pick it up probably every time. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching my video. I think I'm gonna take one last shot and go home and clean a few guns. Woohoo! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.